Yo guys, what is going on? Testing out not only the new rule sets we kind of got, the fact that you now draw 5 first, check your hand, look if you want a mulligan, and then stack your security after that, but we are also trying out WarGrey X as well as Melga X with the new Ace monsters, guys. So the new Ace cards, if you didn't see those, I'll have a link to the video I made on them down in the description below, but basically it's the new mechanic we got announced in Japan, and we're going to be getting these in starter deck 15, 16, and then BT14 is when a lot of the other Ace monsters come out, but they have very powerful on Digivolve effects, let you evolve them during your opponent's turn, but also come with a hefty price. The fact that if they are removed from the field in any sort of way, you lose memory equal to the overflow amount. So we'll kind of get into that once we see those monsters hit the board. But for now, just typical WarGrey shenanigans. Agumon Tai is a pretty good opening, and I saw this hand, decided I didn't want to mulligan because you have pretty much everything you could want to see early on. And our opponent is going to go Gabumon, blue memory boost, searching the Gabumon, and then going to go into the Cool Boy. After that, grabbing a X antibody as well as a MetalGaruru X. So I'm going to go ahead and start my turn. I do have double Agu X, so I think at this point I'm definitely going to just promote to dig a bunch of cards with the Cool Boy and then with the X antibody Agumon as well. So we are going to reveal Omnimon X as well as some Metal Greymons there. Can't take the Ace Digimons, but we are going to go ahead and then just Digivolve Agumon X, using the broken combo to get plus a billion cards here. Cool Boy triggering to draw 1, gain 1, but then whiffing off of the Agumon X. Still 6 cards in hand, looking pretty strong. And then debating here if I want to commit more to the field, but I think going into a Greymon definitely couldn't hurt. Because we do have basically an entire another line in our hands, so even if it dies, we're totally fine. Gonna play a Cool Boy to pass the turn to grab then a Greymon X. Bottom decking yet another Metal Greymon Ace. That guy has the effect of on evolve, you get to pop a 6000 DP or a lower Digimon, and then you can of course blast evolve during your opponent's during the counter step basically. So we are going to put our opponent to 2. Now you gotta kind of be careful here because of the fact that we are aware of the Blast Evos now. If he does just promote Swing the Rookie, I could definitely just evolve into a Metal Greymon for free, pop the Rookie, and then have a level 5 for next turn, that if he can't immediately out, I could possibly go into a WarGrey X. The purple Garurumon there is from the Garurumon starter deck. It does have the condition where you can evolve over a Digimon with Gabumon in its name for a 2 cost. Hence why I still think it's pretty strong in Melga, because it does have the inherited of draw 1, discard 1. Of course, just once per turn, but still really strong inherited 2 cycle card. So we are going to go Greymon X antibody. Full combo basically here, drawing a bunch of cards off the Cool Boy, going on up to 5. Finally drawing into the WarGreymon Ace. Another thing to note is that these cards are treated as if Ace was not in their name, so you can still X evolve into WarGreymon X off of WarGreymon Ace. Despite how that might seem a little bit weird. But we are going to go Ultras, Metal Greymon X, gaining the 3000, sec attack +1, and then swinging into security when attacking, digivolving into an X antibody Digimon. And then now this is where the counter step would happen, but our opponent doesn't have any valid targets for a Blast Evo or anything like that, so nothing will happen. So we are going to just casually check 4, by the way, gaining 1 off of each battle. The WarGreymon X is also plus 6000 from Inheriteds as well as the Metal Greymon, so not going to be able to die to that Omnimon. Sitting at 18k is fine, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a weird play here, maybe not the most optimal, but I kind of just want to do it just to show off what is possible in this deck. So we're going to hard play a Greymon. What this allows me to do is if my opponent declares an attack, we can blast evolve into the Metal Greymon Ace in my hand. So if he does swing with the Garurumon, he will be in a bad position because we'll be able to pop it, but more than likely he's going to evolve into the WarGreymon promo, which would be sitting at 7000, just a little bit out of range of the Metal Greymon. So WarGreymon X can definitely digivolve on top of the purple Garurumon, here gaining some memory and cycling with the cool boys, going into WarGrey promo here. So, you know, typical WarGrey combos, but now I can actually do something with my turn. So swing, unsuspending and drawing, discarding one. Once all those one attackings are done triggering, I can then, at the counter timing, use the MetalGaruru ace in my hand. And the reason I'm going to do this, even though it doesn't delete the WarGrey is the fact that my opponent can simply just go WarGrey X and then bounce the Greymon to my hand. So at this point he wouldn't be able to do so, he would need to commit something like Melga, so like swing first and then go into Melga, which would gain back a ton of memory, but I'm totally fine because he wouldn't be able to out my Warg. So we are just going to go into the WarGrey X, and then once again during counter timing, since it's a different attack, I can then go into WarGrey for a cost of 0, and then now during block timing, I can block his attack, preventing myself from losing 2 security cards, and since I am bigger, he will have to use battle protection on that swing. So it's a really, really cool way to force out battle protection. And actually be able to do something. Now, the unfortunate thing is here, my opponent is going to have the MetalGaruru Ace Digivolving for 3. Again, it can Digivolve on top of level 5 Garurumon for a cost of 3. And then it has the On-Evolve, you can trash up to 3 cards, gain 1 memory back for each card trash. So here, you're going to get rid of a couple of useless cards. However, I think my opponent was too greedy, because as we'll see later, he actually ends up missing cards for the second attack, but regardless, we are going to gain 3 memory off of that interaction, and then just going to go ahead and swing security, and then utilizing the one attacking, which deletes one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest, I think it's level. I'll have to double check on that, but even if it's play cost, it would still delete the WarGrey Ace. And the fact that it is deleted means that my opponent, I will lose 4 memory for the WarGrey Ace and 3 memory for the MetalGaruru Ace, putting my opponent to 10. Which, like I said, the fact that you can do this makes it really important that you know when to use the ace monsters and when not to use them. So we are just going to go MetalGaruru X on top of the ace again, because the ace is not treated as part of the name, bouncing the WarGrey X, but of course we can just attach to prevent the bounce. Still sitting at 15,000, so can't really be swung over under normal circumstances. But my opponent does have the out. He can just use the X antibody effect to blitz into the WarGrey with the Omnimon X. Sitting at 17 is definitely enough to be able to out my 15k Warg. And then, of course, utilizing the one Digivolving. It'll attempt to bottom deck my Warg also, but I can then just prevent that from happening. So I'll prevent that from happening. Not going to detach to here because we forgot, but that could happen. And then we're going to look at the security. My opponent's going to trash the X antibody, of course. And then swinging into the Warg. Once that connects, my WarGrey does not have any battle protection. So it'll just take out my stack. But that is kind of fine, because I think I have enough memory to go into, well, depending on what I draw, I kind of need like a Greymon plus Greymon X here. But we are going to basically just be able to out that. And so my opponent done all of that still at 3 memory. That is the power, or rather the downside, that the overflow mechanic can kind of cause for you. So like I said, I think it's really cool, and my first impressions are, after testing out a little bit, is that it's really, really fun and interactive. Like, there's so much outplaying, I think, now that you have to do. Not that there wasn't in Digi before, but I think it's on a different level now, and now you can't just swing haphazardly. You kind of need to think about your attacks and what your opponent could have during the counter timing. So my opponent's just going to pass turn with the Garurumon promo, putting me back to 3. So we're going to go ahead and start and bring out our Agumon X here. And then here I'm going to actually just swap out one of my dead cards for a Greymon X on top of my deck, just because I'm going to lose regardless, and I kind of want to show you guys how this game would play out if I actually had a play to make here. So a little bit staged, but hopefully for entertainment value. So we are going to go into Greymon and then Greymon X. Of course, being able to trigger the Cool Boy, using the MetalGaruru Ace to be able to delete a 6k or lower, popping the Garurumon, so that also takes out any chances of him going into a Zudomon, which my opponent did actually have Zudomon Ace in his hand that can then strip any 2 materials from my stack here. So we're then just going to go into MetalGaruru X Antibody, you know the drill. Gonna go ahead and go into the WarGrey X here. Only checking 1, but we are at 18,000. So we're going to gain 1 off that interaction, and then end of attack, we can then delete the Omnimon X because it is only 16k. So deleting that, and then gaining 4 off of the overflow from the MetalGaruru, then going to be able to go into Omnimon for game. So guys, definitely really cool stuff. Let me know what you guys think about the overflow mechanic and the Blast Evos. I'm personally really enjoying it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.